Johnny! Oh, ah! Ooh-wee! Oh, ah!
Huh? Hey, Drac, what's wrong?
Hotel Transylvania Transformania rolled out earlier this year, and since then, fans of the franchise have been wondering whether there will be another follow-up movie. Well, we're here to answer that question as best we can. In today's video, we're going to be talking about everything we know so far about Hotel Transylvania 5.
Have you seriously been naked this whole time?
Yeah. Why would only my glasses be visible?
The Hotel Transylvania franchise is an American animated series created by Todd and produced by Sony Pictures Animation. It currently consists of 4 feature films, a Flash animated TV series, and several video games as well. The series is based on the adventures surrounding monsters who reside in the Hotel Transylvania, away from the prying eyes of humans. Most of the characters are parodies of or based on Universal movie monsters. The films have grossed over $1.3 billion worldwide against a combined production budget of $245 million. It's safe to say that the movies were a huge success and managed to attract a dedicated audience.
Erica!
Got it! The 4th installment in the franchise is Hotel Transylvania Transformania. The movie follows the return of our favorite characters, which include Dracula, who is voiced by Brian Hall this time around, and his gang of undead and dead friends. This time around, though, certain changes were made to the cast and the team behind the production. Stick around to find out more about it. The film also stars some big names in the industry, such as the WandaVision star Catherine, Selena Gomez, Brooklyn Nine-Nine actor Andy, and even some of the biggest titles in gaming. Ninja Tyler makes an appearance.
Johnny, why did you turn yourself into a monster?
So we can keep the hotel and the family.
The film was initially planned to be released in cinemas, but then was sold to Amazon Prime Video by Sony Pictures Releasing because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The movie was officially released on Friday, January 14th. The release date of Hotel Transylvania Transformania was actually moved up twice and rescheduled because of the rise in cases during the pandemic, before the release was indefinitely canceled in August of 2021. This was because the deal with Amazon Studios was still brewing. Even still, the movie was not made to be streamed everywhere, with Sony still having plans to eventually release it in China, where it is currently not available. Furthermore, there were some changes made to the movie, namely the old director not returning to direct the film. The role instead was filled by Jennifer and Derek. However, the old director still worked a bit on the project. He wrote the storyline and also co-wrote the screenplay.
Okay, yep. Something's definitely going on.
Although Transformania was marketed as the final movie, the same could be said about the franchise's previous installments. All the movies could be standalone films, each of which end up concluding the main characters' storylines nicely. And on that note, don't go anywhere, because we're about to find out whether the 4th installment of the franchise allows for a sequel movie or not. Because the movies stand in their own place, and it triggers the thought that a 5th edition could still be possible and maybe even in the works. Here's everything we know about Hotel Transylvania 5. It is unlikely that Hotel Transylvania will happen anytime in the near future, since the 4th film was revealed to be the final installment. Rewind to April of 2021. Sony Pictures stated that the 4th movie was the final chapter of the franchise, which was seemingly further confirmed by the members of the cast, such as Selena Gomez and Andy. Furthermore, when the first poster of the Hotel Transylvania Transformania was released back in April 2021, the main promotional tagline read that it was the final movie in the franchise. To add to this, the Instagram and Twitter account pages promoted the film as well as the final movie. It is all conflicting and rather confusing, but that hasn't stopped fans around the world questioning about the next edition.
But I thought I heard...
Oh man. This is all my fault.
Andy said in an interview with Collider that he didn't like to admit that it's all over. He went on to say that if they say it's done, it's like they'll be caving to Sony. He further said that he'll miss it all and it's been a really fun thing to do, especially the junkets. David Spade, who voices Griffin, said that it's a bummer to have it stop, but he's glad that they were all good quality, and if that's where they have to stop, then he's fine with it. Adam Sandler was also an essential part of making the movie so beloved, and it's sad to see him not be a part of Transylvania. But Brian Hall does do a decent job. Fran pointed out that it's because he isn't trying to be like Sandler. Instead, he's imitating Drac himself. But the franchise has proved to be extremely profitable, and so it's hard to say if it's been concluded. Profitable franchises usually experience a reboot or live-action remakes, like with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings by Amazon in 2022. The box office only seems to serve as the driving force behind any continuation now. But hey, it's Hollywood and the franchise has proved to be successful, so never say never. Additionally, Hotel Transylvania leaves some room for future prospects to possibly reprise its characters' stories. Also, it's been proven that even if a follow-up film lacked a main star, they could simply be recast as the one with the case of Dracula.
I look ridiculous.
Keep your shirt on, pal. We've seen more than enough of you.
Hotel Transylvania 4 kicks off with a celebration for us all. It shows Count Dracula, Jonathan, Mavis, and the rest of the gang celebrating the hotel's 125th anniversary. As all of this is happening, Drac makes a surprise announcement that he plans on retiring and will be giving over the keys to the hotel to Mavis, his daughter, and her human husband, Jonathan. By doing so, the movie sets up a potential prospect for future endeavors, with the franchise as the scene depicted a passing of the baton between generations. To be fair, Hotel Transylvania 4 might have avoided any cliffhanger ending by showing the reconstruction of the hotel after it had been brought to the ground by Professor Van Helsing's guinea pig in its last scenes. But even then, considering the number of changes Johnny and Mavis made to the hotel, Hotel Transylvania 5 could focus on those and make it into a fairly interesting story. If Drac were to stand against the changes being made even though he's outside the hotel business, it could be an exciting element to the plot.
Whoa! Hey! Do not make me come back there. I will turn this blimp around. Sorry, Erica.
Although, as of now, there seems to be next to no news regarding a new entry to the franchise. If Hotel Transylvania 5 was to go under production, most of the main cast would be expected to return. Adam Sandler, who is one of the most prominent voice casters in the franchise, will still be absent though. Brian Hall will be back to voice Dracula should the makers go ahead with plans for a sequel. Other main characters who will make their way to the spotlight if the movie ever happens include Andy as Jonathan, Johnny alongside Mavis, who will still be voiced by Selena. Furthermore, Catherine will return as Erica, and so will Molly as Wanda, David as Griffin, Keegan-Michael Key as Murray, and Brad as Frankenstein, among others.
And lied?
Wait, there's no monster real estate law?
After all is said and done, you might be wondering if there is a prediction for a release date of a new film in the franchise, and here is our take on it. To date, there's been no announcement for a 5th installment, so it's fairly unlikely that it'll be anytime soon. Taking previous data into consideration, all the Hotel Transylvania movies were released about 3 to 4 years after they had initially been announced. Keeping this in mind, if Sony were to backtrack later in the year and decide they would like to bring back Drac and the beloved gang of monsters and humans in a sequel, it would probably hit the screens in the time frame of 3 years at its earliest. So that rounds up to a possible screening in 2025. What do you make of all this? Do you think the story still needs closure? Or did the 4 existing films in the franchise do a good enough job to seal it all? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.
Dad, are you sure?
It's time to begin a new chapter.